So, something just happened in the AI world that's sending shockwaves through the entire industry. China has just launched a massive AI offensive, and what we're about to break down isn't just another update. It's a serious escalation in the global race for AI dominance. So, just how big are we talking? We're talking about count them, two new trillion parameter models. Now, these are the kind of colossal models the industry was supposedly trying to move away from. And this wasn't some slow, planned rollout over a few months. Oh, no. Both of them dropped in the span of a single week. A rapid-fire 1-2 punch from two completely different Chinese companies. This signals a huge acceleration and a whole new level of competition. So yeah, you could say the global AI race just got a whole lot hotter. These launches from Alibaba and a startup called Moonshot AI, these aren't just minor tweaks. They represent a major strategic move. All right, let's dive into the first contender, Alibaba's Quen Max. Honestly, this thing is an absolute beast. It's a pure brute force approach that just flies in the face of that recent trend toward making smaller, more efficient models. So what exactly is a trillion parameter model? Well, imagine an AI with like a trillion tiny dials it can tweak to learn and reason. It gives it this incredible potential for handling really complex stuff. And what's so fascinating here is the strategy. While pretty much everyone else was thinking smaller, Alibaba just decided to go all in and scale up. Big time. And look, this isn't just about being big for the sake of being big. This thing performs. When you put it up against tough benchmarks like Arena Hard, it's consistently beating some of the heavyweights you already know, like Claude Opus and Gemini. That's a huge statement to make right out of the gate. And we're not talking about some theoretical model locked away in a lab. No, this thing is out in the wild right now. You can get to it through Alibaba's cloud, OpenRouter. It's even the default model in a popular open source coding tool called AnyCoder. That means developers are already using it, maybe without even realizing it. Okay, but what's the catch? Well, it's the price tag. The cost is tiered, and it all depends on how much info you're feeding it, what's called the context window. For small, simple stuff, it's actually pretty cheap. But if you're a business trying to run really heavy, complex jobs, that price skyrockets. And that's a huge deal. So what are people who've actually used it saying? Well, they're pretty blown away. VentureBeat said it was blazing fast, even faster than ChatGPT when they put them head-to-head. It also seems to be really good at avoiding those simple, kind of dumb mistakes that even really large models can sometimes make, which is a great sign. Okay, so that's Alibaba flexing its muscles. But while all that was happening, another Chinese company, Moonshot AI, was making its own massive move, but with a totally different game plan. They're the up-and-coming challenger, and their whole bet is on context and being open. And you really can't get two more different playbooks. You've got Alibaba, the established tech giant, with a closed-source model that's all about raw power and crushing benchmarks. And then you've got Moonshot, this hugely funded startup that's committing to open source and focusing everything on building a massive context window. So what did Moonshot bring to the table with their Kimmy model? Well, the upgrades are pretty huge. First, they doubled its context window to over 250,000 tokens. That puts it right up there with Quen. They've also seriously beefed up its coding skills, and they claim it hallucinates, just make stuff up, way less often. And this quote from Moonshot's founder, it tells you everything you need to know about their whole philosophy. He's saying that even 250,000 tokens isn't the endgame. For him, the only way AI is going to solve the really hard problems is with context windows that are in the millions. Okay, let's take a step back. We've got two giant models, two very different strategies, all dropping in one insane week. What on earth does this all mean for the rest of the AI world? Let's zoom out. This really throws us right back into one of the biggest debates in AI right now, the whole scaling laws argument. Is just making models bigger and bigger always the best way forward? It's a huge question, especially now that high-quality data to train these things on is getting harder and harder to find. Alibaba is clearly betting yes, while a lot of the industry has been, well, not so sure. So if you're going to remember anything from all this, here are the three big takeaways. 1. The race to get bigger is officially back on. That trend towards smaller models, it's now being seriously challenged. 2. Context is absolutely king. Both of these companies are betting their futures on massive context windows. And 3. The philosophical fight between open source and closed source AI is only getting more intense. And all of this, every single piece, leads us to one final, really provocative question that's less about the tech and more about, well, everything else. It's the question that's suddenly on everyone's mind. With this huge trillion parameter push, are we actually watching the moment China begins to overtake the US in the race for AI dominance? After a week like this one, that question feels more urgent than ever before.